Britain announces first round of sanctions against Russian banks and oligarchs. London, Britain on Tuesday slapped sanctions on 5 Russian banks and 3 billionaires, in what Prime Minister Boris Johnson called the first barrage of measures in response to the Kremlin's actions in Ukraine. Addressing the UK Parliament hours after Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered troops into 2 Moscow-backed Ukrainian rebel regions, Johnson described the move as a renewed invasion and pretext for a full-scale offensive. It follows weeks of rising tensions around the crisis in Ukraine, after a massive buildup of Russian troops on its borders, and swiftly punctured Western diplomatic efforts to de-escalate the situation. We have to face the possibility that none of our messages has been heeded, and Putin is implacably determined to go further in subjugating and tormenting Ukraine, Johnston told MPs, amid cross-party condemnation of Moscow. The United Kingdom will meet this challenge side by side with our allies, determined that we will not allow Putin to drag our continent back into a Hobbesian state of nature, where aggression pays and might is right. As part of a coordinated Western response, the 5 banks targeted by Britain, Rossiya Western, General Bank, Promsvyazbank and the Black Sea Bank, and the 3 people sanctioned will see any UK assets frozen. The individuals concerned, Gennady Timchenko, Boris Rotenberg and Igor Rotenberg, will be barred from entering the UK, and all British individuals and entities will be banned from dealing with them and the banks. Western officials described Rossiya as particularly close to the Kremlin, and Promsvyazbank as propping up the Russian defense sector. Meanwhile, the oligarchs are long-standing associates of Putin and have been targeted to show there is a cost borne by the Kremlin, they said. Britain also announced that alongside the US and European Union, it will be sanctioning members of the Russian parliament who voted to recognize the breakaway Ukrainian regions and barring UK individuals or businesses from dealing with them. Further measures targeting Russia's financial and banking sector, high-tech imports, as well as a wider range of Kremlin-linked oligarchs, companies and energy sector enterprises, are planned, Western officials added. Britain's announcement came after the Russian ambassador in London was called in to explain Moscow's actions. The foreign ministry said, "We made clear to the Russian ambassador that Russia would pay the price for its actions through further sanctions if it did not withdraw its troops," a ministry spokesperson added. Earlier Tuesday, after chairing a meeting with security chiefs, Johnson vowed measures to hit Moscow very hard. Weeks ago, he also pledged sanctions will come down like a steel trap in the event of the first Russian towcap crossing into more sovereign Ukrainian territory. However, numerous British lawmakers, including from within his ruling Conservatives, were left underwhelmed by the measures announced and urged him to go further. Labour MP Ben Bradshaw noted the 3 oligarchs had been sanctioned in the United States 4 years ago. "We need to do better than that," Bradshaw said, urging more use of so-called unexplained wealth orders against Russians in Britain, as well as reviews of high-net-worth UK visas granted to them. Johnson insisted further sanctions were at readiness to be deployed if the Kremlin continued its aggression. Putin on Monday recognized the independence of the rebel-held Donetsk and Lugansk regions of Ukraine and instructed the Defense Ministry to assume the function of peacekeeping in the separatist-held regions. Britain's relations with the Kremlin have been frosty for over a decade, following the radiation poisoning death of a former Russian spy in London in 2006, and the attempted murder of another double agent in the southwestern city of Salisbury in 2018. Successive governments in London, however, have faced sustained pressure to act against illicit Russian money circulating through the city's financial markets in recent decades.